Alright folks, this is a proof of life on a 1088 XLD. This is invoice number 1005819, and we've got a 9-pin printer hooked up here. It's on a stack of floppy drives, just to show you that SIO works. We've got a keyboard and a mouse and a monitor, and this is just a bare bob that I use for testing. This normally comes in a case. This is the 13-pin DIN. This is Composite out. This is S-Video out, and this is sound out. I've got it hooked up that way because I'm short on cables. I'm not really short on cables, I'm just too lazy. I'm short on cables at this location. Alright, this is the back of the unit. You can see the Wi-Fi antenna, you can see the MIDI, you can see the parallel port. The control is set to SIO for the internal Wi-Fi modem. We've got an SIO hooked up to this 551 and this 351. So we're just going to power this on here. Of course, that doesn't really matter because it's not connected. So let's go back here and turn that on. And then we'll turn this on. And there we go. Okay, and as you can tell from the front here, we've got dual compact flash drives. It's booting SpartaDOS X right now. Stereo's engaged, V-gate's engaged, 2 joystick ports, COM port. I'm going to show you this now. I'm going to do Alt-M on the keyboard, and you will see that light out. That means a mouse is connected to joystick 1, off, joystick 2. We're going to leave it to joystick 2 because that's where the mouse is going to be connected for the demonstration of the graphical operating system. Okay, this is just a 9-pin printer. You can see that various things have been printed on it in different tests. If you look right there, you can see that test has been printed, and that was just earlier today to make sure that it's printed, but you know that that's been printed already. So if I print something else differently, you will know that it's new. Alright, so I'm going to put you in your cradle here. I know you love to see my hand there. That's just not very good. Okay, let's make sure that this is set up to look at things correctly. Maybe do a little telephotos. Okay. Alright. Now you've got a close-up of the screen. I'm going to make sure that I have the joystick. I do. Alright, so let's get a couple of things out of the way. I said that the printer was connected. So we're going to go to basic. And I'm just going to do something very easily. I'm just going to do 10 for X equals 1 to 5. 20 L print today equals 28 April 21. 30 L print. I am a 1088 XLD, and IO system, and then 40 next X, 50 print L print I am done, and then 68. Okay, so we're gonna run and then fly you over here and press enter. Okay, so pretty cool. Make sure you can still see. Alright. And need to back that out a little bit. See me type on the keyboard. There you go. Alright, so we're going to go back to DOS. So, a couple of things that have been demonstrated to you as functioning. First of all, you know that the printer port works. You know that it's a standard attachment. It's no funky thing that you got to do. I could have easily sent a print file out through the printer port via SpartaDOS X, but I figured that also demonstrates to you that BASIC is operating. Also, this shows you that the compact flash drives are working. What I'm going to do now is press F12. F12 gets you into the firmware, the BIOS menu, and this XLD, like all XLDs we sell, that we assemble, comes with a manual. The manual is about 2 inches thick. It is not light reading, but it is chock full of information. So instead of going through all this, because it's already all in there, just know that you can navigate it through the arrow keys. You know that stereo is enabled and recognized. The GTI V-Gate, which cleans up the screen to make sure that there's no wild characters going on. Your PBI BIOS, your parallel bus interface, is enabled. Otherwise, the hard drives wouldn't work. Hard drives enabled. I have the boot drive set to D5. Why? Because in my mind, most people only have physical floppy drives D1 through D4. So the first hard drive should be D5. Yes, I know that the 815 could be set up to drive 15. That doesn't really matter, does it? Because nobody has an 815 that they're running every day. So D5 is the first hard drive. Config sys is default, or you could specifically have it look somewhere else. I have it look to the default. You can lock these if you want. And if you hot swap a compact flash card, you can hotkey it if you have that enabled. Slave drive is enabled because that gives you the second compact flash drive. I have high-speed I/O engaged just because it's a high-speed system. Why wouldn't it? This gives you physical disks and any SIO2 PC or anything like that. If I don't hear noise over the SIO bus, if I'm accessing a drive, whether it's a floppy drive or a hard drive, I need to hear noise. So I have it set. You can turn it off if you'd like. This verifies that by already checking for things. Obviously, a VBXE core is not present because there is no VBXE installed. I have it set to port 10. It used to color because it used to be 8, but I like the 10 better. Joystick is set to port 1. I usually disable this. This is to be able to use the joystick to manipulate the screens in these menus, but I usually have a stick pick flasher set in drive 1 or port 1, so it does crazy things if I do that. Nothing damaging, it's just annoying. Alright, next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to save these, and then I'm going to boot to the loader. The loader is what accesses the FAT32 and the FAT16 partitions. Okay. We sell 4 gig and 8 gig compact flash cards that are already pre-formatted and have files and all sorts on them. If you'd like to buy one, otherwise you can get them just about anywhere. Amazon sells them; they're fairly inexpensive. Okay, but this lets you access all of the partitions. APT partition is your Atari partition table, so that's the Atari partitions. One thing I like to demonstrate is, since you have this, you can do map files. That's some fast loading, isn't it? So I pressed Alt-N for next disk, and then press Enter, and it loads the next disks. Okay. Why don't we demonstrate the graphic OS and the mouse? So I've got the mouse set to port 2, which is the port that most Atari 8-bit GOS systems look for it. So I'm going to enable the GOS, that automatically disables SpartaDOS X. I'm going to boot. Okay. Ooh, looky! Now, this is not completely done, but it is. Got some neat little things. Tells you different things that are going on. I always put this on every customer's XEL and XLD, because I think, and even their Ultimate 1 megs, I think this is really cool, and if enough people support it, then John will finish it, because I think it's a nice piece of kit. Right now it looks nice, it doesn't do a whole lot. I'm going to press F12, going to enable SpartaDOS X, which automatically disables the graphical OS, and then I'm going to boot. Okay, now you may have noticed when it loads that it says FATFS, this right here. And what that does is that loads the ability to access a FAT16 partition. Now, why is that cool? Well, with the FAT32, you can load files onto it and you can access it via the loader. With the FAT16, you can access it via the loader, via SpartaDOS X, and copy files to and from every other computer that you want. Because you can load files like XEX files or things like that onto an S drive or something like that. But if you want to boot with it and then access it, so what I do is on my compact flash cards, I set up N and O as partitions. N is the hard drive, that's the FAT16, as soon as O. Just as a matter of consequence, I set up I as the RAM disk, because that's where it always was. And sometimes it was set up as drive 8, but that 5, 6, 7, 8 should be hard drives. So anyways, since I have it set up to read the prompt or read the directory, see, this tells me that's in the directory, that's why it pulls the drive. Now once it's loaded, you're fine. See, it says FAT A. But what we're going to do now is we're going to CD to Bob term. Oh, term. Okay. See, it tells me I'm in the Bob term subdirectory. And then we're going to go X Bob term. Now, you're probably asking yourself, why are we loading Bob term? Well, I'm going to change the translation here to A, so it's ASCII. Hit Enter. And then I'm going to go AT plus config and Enter. What does this tell you? It tells you that the Wi-Fi modem is not only connected, but it's out there seeing things. The Wi-Fi connected that is ours right there, but if you want to change that, just type in Wi-Fi, and it shows you all those, and then you log in. Okay, now, just random, wants the Wi-Fi password. I don't have one for that. So it's like, nope, 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 that didn't work. All right, now, again, the manual has all the details on how to log into this and how to change it and even how to operate BobTerm. The purpose of this video is just to demonstrate that it's working for you and that everything's good. Okay? I'm going to go back to start and then quit. Okay, now I'm going to turn this off and I'm going to insert the joystick into port 1, and I'm going to take a cartridge, beef drop. I'm going to insert it into the cartridge port. Okay, just like right there. Okay, and then I'm going to turn this back on. Now, remember, SpartaDOS is a cartridge. So if it's enabled, it's going to boot first. We don't want that to happen. So let's turn SpartaDOS off and boot. It's beef drop. Okay, and then we're going to start. Okay, so this is doing a couple of things. It is not demonstrating my game playing skills because, quite honestly, they kind of bite. It does demonstrate that the joystick works and the cartridge port works. Well, you know the fire button works because I just threw some peppers. Okay, you turn that off. Unplug that. Put in an ultimate cart. Okay. And I'm going to put in an SD card for the ultimate. Granted, I should have had that already, but you know. Turn this on. And let's go with OI and Mule. Ta-da! Okay, so joystick port works, cartridge port works, CompactFlash works, mouse works, audio works, printer works. Oh, serial port or SIO port. Okay, let's put a disk in the drive here. So I was playing earlier with this, found one of these, and unfortunately, even though it has this very tempting file, oh, and that somebody formatted, and it boots, but it doesn't engage. So this, unfortunately, is all corrupted. But I do have this floppy drive here, floppy disk here, and I'm just going to put it in to there. And it's a single-sided disk in a 551. It should be fine. It's getting a boot error. Why? I didn't re-enable SpartaDOS. Okay, so I'm going to re-enable SpartaDOS and boot. Movie BXE. Okay. I'm going to go to A. Gives me a directory.